but it's our Tuesday teaching episode 34, and it's May 30th, which is Danny Lee's birthday, my father-in-law's birthday. Happy 70th.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Danny Lee. He's awesome. He's an awesome. Right. Yep. So today we're talking about possible future timelines. So I like that, as Shakespeare had said, like all the world's a play, and we're merely actors, right? So that thought is very important as we talk about this stuff, because apparently our possible future timelines are just like acts of a play that we are lining up to. So it's like, yeah, your frequency says that you're choosing this to act out this play this way. So then we're going to be given that. All right. So you guys, so Spirit, what is your definition of possible timelines and stuff? And then we will go into what they might be and that kind of stuff. So how would you describe this picking of possibilities?
All right, and this is Loki. We're just like, because each of us have a different perspective, but they're using me right now. So my perspective would be on this is all these timelines are all the choices and decisions that ever could be made for the demand of the divine to be perfection. Divine demands perfection. Bottom line, if you want to know anything about your creator, you are the creator. The creator is here to experience in different ways from different avatars, which is you. And you call yourself whatever you want, call yourself human, whatever, but you are human here, but you're soul light. In the end, you're your soul light. And you're here to get from fear to a loving situation. So you got so many different possible timelines, but this is not the only incarnation happening. You have other incarnations going on at this very moment, as again, divine demands perfection. So it all has these different timelines. So when you are being triggered in some way, you're going to, and if your vibration matches a certain timeline, you will go to that timeline to heal. I'll give an example, if that is all right. Now, Michelle has always wondered about this, and we brought it to her attention. It's the timing. And when she had that, remember when Locaeus and her, we found out now Locaeus and her would have been brother and sister twins. And you always heard about the inner child exercise. Everybody does these inner child, and they, go and see their self. Like from here, like you guys are talking, there's your child. Well, when your mom was playing the radio with the right music, the right vibration, that was what was happening. She was visiting her then, saying, hey, that's why she didn't understand what she was seeing, because she didn't understand. She's sitting on the park bench. She was sitting with, Locaeus or Macias. We'll explain that Thursday. And just bear with us. And when she was sitting with him, and she was but she thought this big mom, and she thought it was just your mom and dad, but not realizing it was her and him. But they were trying to tell her, you're going to be okay. You got this life. So it's basically future her visiting her then, and she remembers that, clearly remembers that. So this does happen. This timeline happens. It's saying this, everything that was meant to happen happened the way it was supposed to happen. But every human, when you're here, has a different timeline, because you got different choices. Every second of the day, you have a different choice. And when you got where focus goes, energy flows. So if your focus goes somewhere, there's another timeline. All your questions of the why. Why did I do this negative pattern, my blueprint of your life? Well, you have another one has a different blueprint of the same life, but a different blueprint, a different way of seeing. So you have so many possible, like one life could just be like a million different. Again, that's what it is. The divine demands perfection. That is the simplest way to explain that.
And are we experiences as a self and like mass experiencing? Are there a lot of us experiencing the same things around the same time? Is that also a thing? Like mass consciousness, is there a collective perspective and attachment also?
Yeah, what's happening, you have one, like this timeline, for example, for her is patience, understand life is sacred, understand that life isn't difficult, where you're taking it to be. Another life is you're fighting for the right to talk. So if this life here where you're not speaking because you're being burnt on a fire, it's going to scare you in this life to speak your truth, because in that truth, you're going to be burnt and killed for that.
Yeah.
See what I mean? So you got different, basically the same lessons taught differently in
Yeah.
different ways. So this life makes more sense to in another life. Well, like I say, for example, she learns how to speak her truth, for example. She learns how to speak her truth. Well, that version of her always get burnt by the fire, learns to speak her truth. So
Yeah.
every timeline will correspond. It's a different theme, but similarly done. You're always a spiritual teacher. If you're a spiritual teacher now, I guarantee in every life you've been burnt for this. You're doing it now. And sometimes if you're afraid of a fire, well, you probably were. If you were afraid of water, afraid of baptism and things like that, that's going back. At a certain age, do you feel like death occurred? Well, it's probably because, that's happening, but it happens, like you're reliving it. So
Yeah.
that's what's happening. So that, yes, it's like a mass consciousness, as again, it's perfection. It's always going to be till you get it. And that you always go back to this, like, like after this, here, you're not going to go to the Renaissance because this here don't understand that. And so that is not perfection. That's just kind of confusion, but it'll go back and do this again. That's what deja vu is. When you hit deja vu, that's either good or that's bad. It means either you need to change something or you're going on mark. But usually if you're getting deja vu, that's not a good thing. It means you need to change something up. And I know, and she knows that from her experience. She gets deja vu. I need to do something and change it up because it means I'm not doing something right. And that's how she takes her timeline. Some people can take it however you want to take your deja vu, but that's typically how we'll see a deja vu on that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, so we talked about possible future timelines and we'll get into what some of them might be, but I'd like to, before we start there, are these possible timelines different for the old Earth and the new Earth? Or are they doing the same timeline?
Yes, you are doing the same timeline. Well, right now, that's your hell, your purgatory, and your paradise.
Okay.
The shadow is the old Earth. The paradise is the new Earth. So we are part of both old and the new. Some people are just part of the new. Some people that are having difficulties are still part of the old. But what's happening, eventually the old Earth will just fade off and it'll just be all the new consciousness. Well, that'll be the new Earth, the new Atlantis.
Okay.
Is what this will be. But for now, it's kind of the old Earth, the new Earth, kind of the old souls are teaching so the new Earth can go and expand. The old souls have done their duty pretty much. They've done their duty to teach. Now it's going time for the new souls to come forth. So that's kind of what's happening. So if you have anybody in this negative state of purgatory and hell, your shadow, your illusion, that is the old Earth. That is older. That would be the Old Testament, basically. And you're going to the New Testament right here, but they were side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so let's talk about some possible future timelines because we watched Guardians of the Galaxy and it was kind of a rough path for humanity, and that is a possibility, this type of rough path. So let's talk about, and even Terminator, you said Terminator is a possibility, and with AI being as new as it is, we don't understand some of the stuff that we create. And a lot of us have evil hearts anyway and bad intent that we are willingly and purposefully creating bad things to try to steer us off, of course, into a worse timeline. So let's talk about some of these not so great possible future timelines.
All right. And this is Locaeus. And I've experienced the Hunger Games. One. Okay. We have all of us as a whole have experienced the past timelines, present, future.
Okay.
That's why we're very qualified. We know. I remember mine where theirs is, you got to remember they're in a higher, but me, I'm the human more. And then now that I've got the human, as my experience is going to be a lot different than theirs. This is why they got me to this one here. So mine was the Hunger Games. And if you're familiar with the Hunger Games, they would choose somebody out of like a poor village, like different poor villages. And so they would pick like certain people, but it was a certain death for them.
Yeah.
But for the amusement of these high superiors, for their amusement, it was always games designed to kill you. And if you survived, you got immunity, you got all of this other stuff. But by that time you got PTSD and you're just out because you've seen so much death you've had to kill. I was killed in one of these scenarios and I lost her in one of these. They, as a joke, the poor brother, the poor sister put him out there and they knew certain deaths I couldn't fight, she could fight. So it was hilarious to them. Well, she was the first to die because they knew I couldn't defend myself. And this timeline came about, and I'm just as an example of where this one came about, because I do know where this one came about. Well, everybody had a fear of the government taking over. So what they did was they took over themselves. The government was gone. They overthrew the government. They overthrew the police. They overthrew what they thought they wanted. They were going to be their own leaders now. But unfortunately, the humans don't understand. Like God had told them a long time ago, you do not need a leader at all. You are your own leader. In utopia, you don't need that. But in people's utopia, you always got these people that have to control. They have this need to control. That's in their heart to control, because they see something. And usually it started off somebody really good, like your dad would have been good, Scott, taking a lead and doing the right things and doing the things. And you have others, I will not say names because it just seems like you would have like a Hitler. We'll just say Hitler because it seems like the right comparison.
Yeah.
And you would use a Hitler. And so this Hitler's going to sneak because he sees the two. So that's what happened. Is they overthrew the government, overthrew all of it. Everybody got tired of the politics. Guns became a thing because nobody wanted to hear, don't take away my gun. So we heard a lot of that. What was overthrown, guns, was you had to watch yourself, watch your food, because nobody was going to sit there and help you anymore. Villages became poor because now you didn't have to chair anybody. Nobody was helping nobody. Every town and community was on their own. And we and her were born to end to this, not understanding there was a free world at some point. We never understood that. It was like 100 years and we didn't know there was a free world. We just knew we were scared to be chosen. You had to show up or they would kill you anyway. So you would just show up, and they showed, there were certain people, you got a number and you had to show up. We got this number, but we knew we were chosen because we were poor and we were kind of a joke. We were and we knew, and she knew, and what they did with the parents when the kids die. And that's population control.
Yeah.
It's population control. And then it's amusement for the people. So that is why that led to that. And we have a Harry Potter, and everybody seems to think that actually does exist. That exists. I know.
Hey.
And that stayed. Now, if the possible, like in the Renaissance, when magic stayed. When magic stayed and magic was, Merlin was it. Merlin was able to bring everything full force. So is Morgana. Everything was able to stay. The beauty of it, King Arthur really loved the magic. He wanted it there because people could learn. His kids learned it. It became a thing. So Harry Potter, that was a thing. There was no hiding it. It was a thing. And it led to all of the Harry Potter and all the beautiful things you see. That would have been a thing. Except you wouldn't have had Slytherin. You would not have had Slytherin. Because there'd have been no need for Slytherin.
Yeah.
With no need for it. People think, no, there would have been no Slytherin. It was just for purposes I get. You think, well, Loki, and that, no. And this would have been magic, would have been a utopia because it's good. They wouldn't have wanted to do anything bad. So this was, like that. And then the Terminator, that came from AI. That came from, like right now you haven't seen a computer, seen these robots coming forth that they're humans. Yeah. Well, they really did overtake. They really did. That's what's so damn scary about that. Yeah. Because they can actually do that. And then you're going to be bossed around by this robot. And that has happened. I would know that. Aliens, they've, forever. Now, so I have had this happen, and Angie's actually seen this trigger hit me. And this was one that I forgot because it was, but I had experience so I could talk about it. Is in the future, is aliens, this is how they come forth. It's like this, to talk through a human, because they can't just come out in this little body and come out and be how they are. They have to be hidden because people don't understand. But to get the message, it's not about what they look like. They want the message to help humanity. That's what they're looking for. That's really what a deity is. That's what they are. They want to help humanity so bad, but they got to come in forms like this and do unbelievable things to get a human to go, oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. And I was discovered channeling her. I was discovered. So their point was taking the body apart to find me, which I don't understand why. Even Dylan says I don't get why taking the body apart, but they did, to try to find where this was. And they were capturing people channeling. They're capturing all the spiritual teachers because, again, they thought all aliens. It was like a witch hunt, except now it was your spiritual conspiracies. So these were some of the possible timelines. And these things are coming forth with a fear again of aliens. Aliens are going to kill me. And you see the served man like Twilight Zone. So of course, aliens do these things. You don't understand. They would. And when I say alien, I really should say beings. I really shouldn't say aliens. It means that they're separate from us, and that's very darn true. I would say more beings. They're spiritual beings, really what they are. They're just here to help, and that's what we would be considered. Well, not me specifically now. I'm more human, but it gives my something more to see, and my experiences can mean more now, and that. So your world is heading towards can I talk about utopia? Okay,
Yes,
because these are the things
please.
people want to hear. Let's talk about
Yes.
utopia. Let's talk about utopia. This is my favorite. This is great. This exists. This exists. Okay, I want everybody to hear this. It exists. You all have this Christ consciousness within you. And then just walk with Jesus. Everybody has this. He just knew how to manipulate. He just knew how to come forth. But he came to show you as a whole, as a teacher, this is how you do it. And he was, when he walked across and he died, it was to show you don't have to have anger. Look at what I did. He served his purpose. There was no more need to sit there and keep preaching when he served his purpose. He taught the people he was supposed to teach, and the method, it was up to us to take forth and do what the message was. I took, and I did my part and everything, and everybody here, you probably there in whatever form, but you were there. So how does this occur? A group consciousness. A group can create havoc, or we can create love. Simple meditations, it has been proven, if one person in one neighborhood is doing a meditation, it'll, in the whole neighborhood, one person.
One person.
And let's imagine you get 2 or 3 or more. That's just an amazing number. And why wouldn't we be doing that? Or serving, it comes from being grateful. Matthew McConaughey has where I loved it. And this was a great thing. He says it's good to be selfish. And it's good to be selfish because he said, think about it. When you are serving somebody, he said this course, as an example, he goes, when you take this course, you're being a little selfish, aren't you? You're taking time, you're being selfish, but what you're doing, while you're gaining all of this information, you're giving this back to somebody else. You're teaching this. Your time now is well spent because you're selfish in here, self-love, and you're giving that back. So that's what it is. We take care of us, do a little selfish, take that 30 minutes or whatever for lunch or whatever, so your mind is good and you're not snapping. It's everybody needs to find out what are my triggers. And that's why it's so important to know the illusion, the old earth, which is your illusion. Let's stop the illusion. Lucifer's not in the illusion anymore. He's out of the illusion. He didn't want to be in the illusion anymore. Exactly. He can still teach the illusion without being in the illusion, because here's a little secret. The illusion is however you want to see it. It can be a dark and gray and spider webs, or it can be a beautiful paradise. It's all up to you and however you create. And whatever state you are, that's how your world's going to see. So if we're in a state of love, gratitude, joy, and how we see our world, if you see it like it's a war, that's how you're going to see your world. And that's how our world's going to proceed into these other timelines. But if we see our world in love, peace, happiness, joy, and we teach this to somebody else, once we've understood, like, I am not up the mountain, I'm getting up that mountain, but I swear I really want this. That's what our book is about. That is why we're doing this book. We're getting everybody up that mountain. Exactly. We're getting everybody up that mountain. And that's what it is. And then we're teaching as a whole. It is achievable. It is. Atlantis has already changed their rules. You know how they had the priests and the priestesses? There's no more priests and priestesses. Everybody's a unit whole. There's no jealousy. There's no judgment. No nothing. Why? Because this realm is changing. This realm is changing. That is a good sign. That is a great sign. Yeah. So it is achievable. We're heading to the utopia. We're not heading these other timelines. We're not headed there.
I think our world wants us to think we're headed to those low-level timelines, but we're not. There's so many people that have been waking up, and during COVID woke a lot of people up. That was rough. That was rough for everybody. Everybody had to sit and look at their life. You were forced to. You were stuck inside your house with your family. You had to look at your life. You had to look at the choices you've made, how you felt about it. I mean, what are some of the changes you guys have made during COVID that have changed your life? That is us ascending. That is us waking up. That was us wanting something better for our lives. It also gave us bad stuff, but we learned a lot through it. And that's what's important.
It is. And one thing I will mention, and this is about timelines, and it goes right alongside, is the more you ascend, I want you everybody to hear this. This is still Lachaeus. Oh no, this is Machaeus, sorry. I guess first I'm trying to get used to it, as there's two different. So this Machaeus. So what it is you got your different type. Okay, now I've got to go back because I had to say my name, and now I'm trying to go back to what I was saying. So because what's going on is so many other things.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I had it. It left. Come on. Why is this doing this right now? So I guess it was, maybe the timing is just not now. I mean, I noticed when this is happening, the timing is just, we'll get back. So, all right, go ahead.
I get it.
So when you're going to, now it's time to do it.
Yeah.
What it is Marcus is trying to come through. He's trying to come through and talk, and he's trying to interrupt, and he's messing me up. And I get it, because this would be his words. So Marcus, why don't you just do it, because you're kind of come forth and all right, this is Marcus. I got a teeny bit of human now. I
Yeah.
need a bit of human, so I can understand humans.
Okay.
I got yelled at for this, so I got called out on my bullshit. So you're going to hear a lot more from me. I'm not going to always be over here. I need to be more proactive.
All right.
I want some time out with my wife.
Huh. Get out of that hammock.
Well, mine is the asshole Atlantean priest that I need to get over. My ego
Yeah.
and Destiny hear all my bullshit, and she was like, "You're an asshole." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right, I am." So an example why I'm out here is, so as you improve yourself, as you ascend and you improve yourself, things will come forth. It's going to feel like a demonic possession. When I say that, you see the visuals of it. That doesn't happen only because this is your own negative crap at you. But you've seen shows where you've seen the woman spit the whatever out of her head or what, and that's what it feels like, right? So that's why I say it the way I'm saying it. It's what it's going to feel like. And that's an experience. Michelle's experiencing that. She's been waking up early and, to experience the sunrise, to experience the dawn, and she's been happy about that. And she started this Saturday and she was so happy and great. Sunday, just happy and great. Monday, I lost my shit. And Destiny was not expecting my shit to be exploded. I wasn't expecting my shit to be exploded. I went off on Okeas. I went off. And so Michelle goes, "What the hell was this? Why did you do this?" And then Lucifer sitting there, and they all knew this was a lesson for me. Him becoming human means I have to feel him on her, and I didn't like that. But I've had my problems with Locaeus, but I was a very abusive Atlantean. And since Atlantis is changing rules, I need to change alongside it. This was something I didn't want to mess with. But it woke me up to say, I've not done my part. I hide in my hammock. I let everybody else do things. And it's not fair to everybody contributing their information. And me on that side, I know contributes. This over here does not do anything. That's my ego. That's my whatever. So I add a little bit of human to show them I'm willing to start. But as Michelle was ascending, because we're all affected over here, it meant one of us was going to be affected by this. Yeah. Locaeus had a choice yesterday. He could go back to being a deity since the lesson was been learned, or he could stay human. He said he chose to stay the human. Wow. And he said only because he said Michelle loves that, I get more connection, and I took a little bit of human so I can make that connection much better. So, but there was my lesson. Yeah. But see, that's why as you ascend, your divine masters could be going through something. You could be going through something. So understand, it's not something coming at you. It's something has to come out. It's been within you. This has been within me forever. It needed to come out. Like Loki kept saying, divine demands perfection. And if I am imperfect in any way, like Destiny even asked, she said, so why are you in an illusion? Understand, we are in Shambhala. We are in perfection. But sometimes perfection has little bitty things that you need to deal with. Now, to her being human, you're human. These things will come forth, so we're not having to repeat lives. Well, just that way we're taking care of it. Wow. We'll just go ahead and just take care of that illusion. So that's why that timeline has been gone. Now that I dealt with it, the timeline's gone. See, that's what it is. And so if you're feeling something off, it's not you, it's your deities. Everybody has them. Everybody has your spirit guides.
It's interesting too, because I've been going through another like onion peel, right? And I had a dream this week where I hit my ceiling, and I kept saying, I've hit my ceiling. I hit my ceiling, like of all the goodness I felt, to where now I was facing the shadow because my light had gone up so high. Now my ego was in front of me to face, because now it has leveled up too, right? So I had to like face off with it, because it was pissed off about something. So I had to like face it off, and then we had to like grow together. Now we went beyond the ceiling. So as we ascend, we do hit a ceiling. So we hit that level before we're going to break through to pull in our onion level. And when we do, we face our shadow there. Whatever, it brings our shadow to us, and we have to face it and work on it. And now when we wake up, because I did this in my sleep, but when I woke up that day, I had choices that were ego or spirit led. Which side am I going to pick? Like, I had to work through these things, and there was some things going on which had my ego riled up. So as you ascend, know this side's coming out, look at it. just look at it honestly. You'll be all right. You can go through it.
Right.
So problems arise when we don't look at our shadow as we are ascending. So as you are growing, always look at your shadow. Don't let it get the best of you. Always keep it. That's my buddy, right? We're tethered together. I have to keep it in line.
And even that happened with me, and that confused Destiny, because she said, oh, I thought you were out of the illusion, and the illusion is next door. As long as she is human, we're going to experience illusion, because that is our lesson as well. So so yeah, we're in that. We're not in it as deep as you're a human. I just made, now I took a little bit of human. I'm not part of the karmic wheel, okay, but I'm still going to deal with my illusion, so I don't have to come back and do this anymore. We don't want to do this anymore. So if you feel like you are, no, this isn't you, it's probably not, but you have to face your shadow, because you can't be the best version of yourself. And this is Atlantis. I haven't done this Atlantean life in forever, but yet it came back to haunt me now. It's best to just deal with it when you have it versus having to do it right now, because it was so emotional. She has that 3 hours sleep, because we both cried. It was so much cry. I was horrible. And now that I've ascended in light, and the divine me had to talk to the shitty me, and I had to just let go. And Loki says, the minute you quit thinking you're a victim, even somebody has as smart as Loki and Michelle worked their shit out. Lokias, Michelle worked their stuff out. I did not work my stuff. I didn't want to work it out. I was too busy with my ego. Even divine beings have sometimes that ego, and the human has brought it down a lot to me. And believe it or not, it has, but it's helped me calm down and understand what a human goes through. I can't help if I don't understand, but I'm still that. But let's go my ego. It can no longer say, well, because Lokias had was this problem. Now he's Machias, and he loves it now. This is a whole other experience, because the divine is perfection. Yeah. So that is your timeline. Your timeline, just all of these things are so important to get to the utopia. We have seen it for Atlantis to change, because I was told there's no priest, there's no priestess. I was bogged, like, really. And so from now on, I don't refer to, they even told me I'm not allowed to refer to you guys as priestesses, and I'm not a priest. They said, because the honor is just being united. It doesn't mean that you have to be like married or all of these things. Now that is that, okay, if you're married, it's okay, all right? But over there, that's not a thing. They touch your hand, like couple your hand, and that's it. That's your mate. So Atlantis, it's no more husband and wife. They put their hand, and that is a unit thing right now. I thought you're married, but it's like an ashram. You're going to live as a community. And what it is like a man or a woman, either they're fair sex, it does not. And when you have a wife, and the procreation isn't how it is here in the human realm, where it's physical. This is energetic. You mingle your energies together, and you can have several people you get along with. Like I could have several, and there's no jealousy, because we understand we're all one. In the end, I'm just mingling with myself, and it's a mingle with just a different part of myself that I need to experience. But the Atlanteans understand that. But for them to change their thinking, for the fairness, the no judging, and how our children, they're born differently. They're not born, and they're born in love immediately. There is, when the minute the mom, they still, some people can do the old-fashioned pregnancy, or they can do a different type of pregnancy. And now they've updated me last night on this, by the way.
Wow.
If you want to do an old-fashioned, immediate conception, if you decide to do the old physical old-fashioned, they put you you do it, like that. They love this baby from the time of conception to the time it's born. It's loved. It knows it's loved. Yeah. And if you do it the other way, which is no judgment, it's always love. Always love. It never knows hate. It never comes in the world with hate. Mom and dad or community loves this child. It never knows who mom and dad really is. It just knows all of these women, mom and dad. That's it. Because in the end, that's really what it is. And when they get to a certain age, they call everybody by their name. Yeah. That's how the Atlanteans are going now. So that means here we've expanded utopia. We haven't done that. So that's great. And I love to see that, because that was so terrible with the priests and the priestesses and that identity and all of that. But now they don't do that. Yeah. And I love that. And they didn't like the fact I kept saying that. They said that has to stop from your part. That's ego. They said priest and the priestesses, you're owning her. That's ego. And they just don't. And there you don't have ego, because it's already been learned not to have ego. You just don't have it. You don't need it.
Right. You've outgrown its experience. You've learned
it's a new earth.
You right.
New earth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. Does anybody have any questions about any of this stuff? Do you have any comments about future timelines or anything? Have you enjoyed this episode? I've enjoyed it. I think it's awesome. Actually, I have another question for y'all. So there's been like TikToks going around of people seeing 2 suns and 2 moons. If this is a real thing, is that this crossover of old Earth, new Earth?
That's
No.
not. That's fake.
Okay, it's fake.
I mean, that's not real. I mean, it's some kind of an illusion. That's not. No, that's not. This is still monarchist now. I mean, that's hopeful thinking, and if somebody wants to argue that point, that's fine. But that's not. No, that's an illusion. That's something else.
Okay, it's what I thought, but I thought, well, if it is, does it have anything to do with that? So I didn't know. There's so much like fake stuff everywhere. It's crazy. Destiny said, wowza, loved it. Snuck on at work. Well, heck yeah. And Shelly said, hey, y'all, I got my gift. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. I hope that you enjoy it and that you love it. The little angel's adorable. Perfect. Well, I guess I have another question for you. So people have been capturing a lot of like videos of UFOs or UAPs. And you guys have said before that you don't need like UFOs to travel. So what travels using UFOs and UAPs? Do you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is Loki.
Okay.
Yeah. Low level alien forms. That's the old Earth.
Okay.
Because new Earth doesn't require it.
Okay. Because they've been popping up everywhere, and it just seems like has this always been here, and we didn't realize it. It seems low level-y stuff.
Well, what's happening is first, some people are just making it up. Some people are just making shit up. The other is this is low level aliens curious about your world. Because right now, your world is, nobody wants to be this wrong. Because this is like, no, nobody wants to be a part of it. So they're wanting to see what this is a low level attachment. And they want to be a part of that attachment. They want to be a part of that. But they can't stay because it's just, it won't equal. Because there's still a higher vibration than you. Wow. So they said they can't stay. So no, we do not use UFOs because we do it by thinking. We, as an Atlantis, a high society, even think of coming from. But if it's a lot of study. I think you go into college, but that's what we would do. They need spiritual teaching here.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Perfect. So our next Tuesday teaching, let's see. We'll come up when our next Tuesday teaching. I might be able to just do it in 2 weeks when I have the kids. I don't know. I'll have to look at the calendar and we'll see what we're going to be teaching about.
Yeah, because remember the vacation too, so we'll have to plan around.
Yeah, so I'll have to look into that. But we'll have an Ask Lazarus this Thursday, and we will explain Zacchaeus and Lachaeus and all of that stuff that's going on, because that's a wild ride too, y'all.
Yeah, this is me, Zacchaeus, and it is a wild ride. But I will explain all that Thursday. If anybody questions on what's going on and whatever, we'll explain that more. Angie she understands it more than I. It's one of these, I'm like, I understand what's happening and I can explain it from my experience, but the name and everything else, that's so. Yeah. We'll explain who I am and why it fascinated your daughter so much. It was great.
Yeah. And Mom was just like, yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Earl, that's him. Yeah. And it was like,
okay, well,
you should know. It was so, yeah. So I did a little sneaky sneak, because my father is sneaky sneaks and pops and stuff. Yeah, speaking of Cosmo did a little pit stop. He said Michelle wasn't having any fun, so he started booty dancing to music.
Oh, heck yeah, he did.
So, but he's not channeling. He just said he just wanted to bring boring Michelle up to code. Then he left. But so Michelle said something about dad. I told her I saw it. What if I could talk to your dad? Talking to your dad. So she came over, it was by the grill. So she walked over to your dad. Yeah. She says, hey, Dad, I'll have some questions. And then she just brought me forth. Huh. And I had the best conversation with your dad.
Huh. I saw you over there talking to him.
It was me.
Huh.
That was me. I would have been I'm their son. I would have known how to talk to him. And he was so, you could just tell it was like, and Michelle goes, is he not picking up on the male energy? Is he not picking up?
Huh. It's weird.
He was just in a real comfortable conversation. He said, you can come back whenever. I enjoy this conversation. Yeah. You thought
weird.
he's like, Michelle got smart all of a sudden. But I told Michelle, and I said, did you see that? And she goes, I said, because it's the familiar.
Yeah.
They're just, but I talk like this. This is how I talk.
Wow.
Oh.
It's crazy. And we showed them the Sarah Prout video where I got to talk to her about our book and get her input and stuff. And our dad, my dad didn't like that the book has cuss words in it. And she told me that I was a grown woman. I could do whatever the hell I wanted. It was my book. And to tell my dad I could do whatever the hell I wanted. And it was hilarious. Mom loved that part.
Yeah.
So,
So it was Sarah Prout. Everybody probably would have missed the first part when you said Sarah Prout.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that when you watch this, I just wanted you to fit, and that was Sarah Prout. But yeah, your dad was not pleased to hear, but you could just tell, walk, and he always said, oh, that, because it was funny. And then your mom, but she's, oh, this is my favorite part. I love this.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
And after, Dad said something like, well, he's read the book, and he was like, and we talked about how we'd have like a book tour to do. Like if I get a literary agent, we'd have a book tour. And he was like, it's just weird. Like I've never seen that kind of intelligence come out of either one of you girls. And it's like, because we channel and you don't want to see the channeling. So you don't see the intelligence coming out of us. And Scott was in the rocking chair in the corner. He's like, can you imagine these girls writing a book, Bill? Come on, Bill.
That was funny. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like this, like,
come on, Dad.
Because he does. But did you, your mom?
Yeah.
I was able to talk and be free to be me. She was good with it.
Yeah.
He froze.
Yeah.
He froze again. I said, yeah.
You froze too. Take a shot. It's too early. Don't take a shot. Ay. Well, hopefully we'll have better connectivity on Thursday. Again, they're working on our neighborhood, and it sounds like they're working on your neighborhood. So I'm thankful the internet did this good for us. So thank you, internet, chugga-chewing along just enough for us to get out whatever this might be. I think it was reached. I think it was still delivered. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank goodness, because there's something going on outside. I can hear it because it's hurting our ears. This is still Marcus. It's hurting our ears because the high vibrations of things. It's like that's part of the human thing. I've noticed that I got the DD, but then it's like human. I'm like, ooh.
So fun. I would take
Something
you
else
back
to
to roller coasters. So let's bring Marcus in to end us out.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'd like to thank the divine love for being here, helping us all out, learn about timelines and how we should be working towards the best utopia we can. Atlantis is already changing over to utopia, meaning we're going to be in the utopia, and that's including deities, spiritual guides, the humans. All of us will be in that utopia because we are here to guide the humans to utopia. So all of us will join utopia. We are one after all. So just your spirit guides, your deities, and all that they're teaching, it's just a version of you. They just match the vibration, and that is what deities really are. We know you, we have a life with you, and that we're experiencing that with you. So when I say we all go there as a whole, I mean we all go as a whole. There is no over here hierarchy where I'm higher than over here. We're all one, and even Loki. Now we don't know where Loki will be. Loki will be somewhere. But he'll be there. Yeah. See, look, you got the cone on your head.
Conehead.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be appropriate. I would be the conehead. Now he's over in the base. He's got dots on his head. Professor's name. All right. That's what that meant. You didn't say anything. I'm not going to explain that shit. There's not.
Not today.
You gotta walk around, man, and say, I'm a goat. Put your out on your forehead. I don't know. Whatever you feel you must do. Yeah. But I do appreciate that, Loki. And I do got a gator ring over here on her finger from where that jewel place at whatever she gets. It was an alligator. The Peter Pan collection has to be a damn crocodile. Of course it has to be a damn crocodile.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. And the snake, but of course. So we'll bring Marcus. He's at the code. Of course, he's got a comment, but I had to just wrap it. But we appreciate everybody being here. We love everybody. We hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you have any other questions or anything, please leave that. If it's about Micaeus and Locaeus, we'll explain that Thursday. Or just it's a really long story, a very long, sorted melodrama, soap opera. But we're really glad everybody joins in because we love this because the end goal of this book, the tour, the music, the meditations that we're all creating is for the benefit, and jewelry being created. Everything is for the good of serving all of you. It serves all of you. And as you are learning this stuff, do me a favor, teach it to somebody else. Teach it to somebody else. We are spiritual coaches, is what we like to say, our mentors. And that's what we are. And we want to make sure that you information, just information, because we go to Utopia faster. So let's do that. Let's do that in the book. We'll teach you how to do this. Very simple. And that you'll enjoy it. It's been Sarah Pratt really liked it. So keep that in mind. We're excited we get to actually see Sarah Prout tomorrow. Just we love her as all of us deities love her.
Yeah.
And the show. So and it's going to be like that.
We're going to have to bring it down a notch. We're all fangirl, fanboy, and fanning.
Yeah, we'll all be fanning. Well, I'm hoping that Loki can come and say something. So he's yeah.
I think it will happen. I think there'll be a divine time for him to be like, hey.
I think he'll be. It'll be. I feel Loki's going to, because she just says he is the F-bomb.
Yep.
And Krishna got no action. I'm still disappointed.
No play whatsoever. Whatever. Loki says what?
Nobody cared about Krishna. But I won't hand it to my here. I'll hand it over to her.
I'll take it. And I got it. All right. And we love you guys. And thanks for bearing with our internet connectivity issues. And we love you guys. And we will see you on Thursday for our Ask Lazarus. Have a great week, y'all. We love you. And happy birthday, Danny Lee. Happy 70. We love you, Danny Lee.